Democratic debate in Brooklyn was epic. Explosions all over the stage. You know, I think one time Bernie Sanders had just went up and just slapped Hillary Clinton.
I think he jumped off the top rope and hit her with an elbow.
Yeah, you know, Hillary Clinton kneed him right in the groin. You know, I mean, it was... No, it wasn't anything like that. No, it was just another Democratic debate. It was a little bit more testy than the other ones, but, you know, that's to be expected because anytime campaign season starts to wind down, you're going to see the candidates at each other's throats. This actually might be the last one. They've discussed one in California, but nothing's been set in stone. So, like I said, this might be the last time we see them on a stage together. But there were some issues that we want to talk about. Hillary Clinton, she really chose to like evade answers on a number of occasions, and she even flip-flopped her positions on a number of issues. Of course, the gun issue came up. This is always an issue that Hillary Clinton can appear to be on the left of Bernie Sanders on. But they asked her about why she pretty much hinted at Vermont being the crime problem, the gun problem in New York. And did she answer that? Did she?
No, she never answered it. Yeah. She skirted around it quite a bit. She kind of answered it, but she did not explain her position.
Right.
She said, no, I wasn't, suggesting that, but she still didn't explain
why she even brought it up. Right. Yeah. And so of course they talked about the gun manufacturers, suing gun manufacturers again. And see, this is an issue where Bernie Sanders doesn't really explain his position the best way that he can.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed at his answer.
Like, he can be way more consistent. Should manufacturers be sued because a gun is sold legally? No. I mean, just say no. I mean, some people are going to say, oh my gosh, Bernie, oh. But no, I'm sorry. It's not, it really shouldn't be an issue.
And she kind of brought up the families of Sandy Hook or something like that.
Yeah, she did. And look, if a gun manufacturer is engaging in, negligent practices, if they're somehow marketing the weapon in a negligent way, or they're doing something, yes, and Bernie Sanders has said this, in situations like that, they should be held liable, they should be able to be sued. But if you're talking about somebody that just sold a product and then somebody took that product and wreaked mayhem,
a product that is legal
in America, and they took that product and they just caused a massacre, no, I'm sorry, that's not on the manufacturer, that's on the person that did it. If you really want to be angry at somebody, if we're talking about assault weapons, who made them legal? That's Congress. That's not the manufacturer. And this is what I will say about Hillary Clinton. She has done a magnificent job shifting the focus away from where it really should be. Because here we are talking about gun manufacturers and whether they should be sued, right? Shouldn't the real issue be how to limit these mass killings, these mass shootings from happening? Shouldn't that be the real issue? Because let's say, okay, we get rid of the protections for gun manufacturers, right? We got rid of that, okay? How does that limit the mass shootings in America? It doesn't do anything to do that.
It doesn't. And specifically, since she brought up Sandy Hook, how was he able to get his gun? What's the kid's name who shot up the kids? Well, how was he able to get the gun? Whose gun was it?
It was his parents' gun.
Yeah, it was his mother. I think it was his mother specifically. Right. So
it has nothing to do with marketing. It wasn't even his weapon.
No.
He got the weapon and he wreaked mayhem on the school. It was a travesty, but that has nothing to do with the marketing practices. On another issue, I have to commend Dana Bash. She actually challenged Hillary Clinton on her transcripts, her paid speeches to Goldman Sachs, and I think she asked her the question 3 times, and the final time she was like, "Look, this is a Democratic issue. This is a Democratic issue with your Democratic opponent. This isn't about Republicans. It's Democratic voters that want to be reassured that you're actually on our side, not on Goldman Sachs' side." And again, she's like, look, well, if this is going to be a new standard, let everybody be a participant, and then I'll release them.
She mentioned the Republicans again.
Again, come on. Since when did
we're in a Democratic primary?
Democrats and Republicans don't negotiate on what's going to be a standard for running for president? That's ridiculous.
That's one tactic she used to pivot from that question. Mm-hmm. What was the other tactic she used? What did she pivot to?
Oh, yeah. She brought up tax returns. Ugh. I mean, deflect, distract.
But that's not the same standard. No, so she, wanted Bernie Sanders to release his tax returns. Mm-hmm. But that's still not the same standard. And she never said she would release the transcripts.
No. And see, Bernie Sanders has said that he will release them. Now, you can say all you want that, look, you said you'd release them and you haven't done it yet. Where are they at? Where are they at? You can keep saying that if you want. And you have every right to do that. But Hillary Clinton has not said that she will release the transcripts. She is saying, no, I'm not going to do that until the Republicans say that they will,
and apparently she has them.
Yeah, she owns the rights.
She owns the rights.
Yeah, she can do what she wanted
to. To be honest, completely honest, what if the language in it is kind of benign? Does it matter? Is it more or less one of those wink and a nod type things? Like, hey, you're paying me to give this really general speech.
But
does it really matter?
But do you really think it is benign? I don't care
how
hard she's fighting to not release them. I don't think it's benign.
I personally don't care if she was going over her favorite pecan pie recipes. She was paid for speeches. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's really all that matters. All it requires is a wink and a nod. That's really all it requires.
See, this isn't a new standard, like she keeps saying. This is coming up because her integrity is being called into question because of these paid speeches to Goldman Sachs. She talks like she's this big tough guy that's gonna, rein them in and prevent them from, wrecking the economy again, right? Okay, well, let's see the speeches and let's see if you're actually that same person. That's what, it's not a new standard. We want to see where your allegiance is on minimum wage. How she was up there with the governor Cuomo on the stage, when he was signing the bill for $15 an hour, right? And she was, she was up on stage with him. So they asked her about, are you really for, a high minimum wage? Are you for $15 an hour? And she said, well, look, I've always been for $15 an hour in New York, and I've always been with the fight for 15. But Bernie's like, hold up, no. You said $12. That's what you would fight for the federal minimum wage. And again, this was an issue where she was kind of like uncommitting, she was kind of broad.
Yeah, okay, but let's say she is committed to that $12. Like, if there was a bill pushed that provided a $12 minimum wage, what do you think we would actually get from that?
See, it depends on who's on the side, who's pushing that $12. So if it's Hillary Clinton, think about, because she has already said compromise is not a dirty word. Mm-hmm. She said that in a town hall. She said compromise is not a dirty word. We need to compromise with the Republicans, right? So what's going to happen? $12 is on the table. Mm-hmm. It gets pushed back to I don't know, $9.50, maybe as high as 10.
And she's gonna say what? See, we got something done.
Yep, because she's a progressive that likes to get things done, right? But we didn't want 10. We wanted 12. See, Bernie wants to fight for 15, no less than 15, because 15 isn't even a livable wage. But her, I guarantee, she's gonna compromise with the Republicans.
And the thing is, you fight for the future.
Exactly.
So if you're fighting for $15 minimum wage right now, we already know that it's not going to be implemented just like that.
Just like that. Exactly.
So when it's fully implemented, maybe in 4 or 5 years, it will at least compete with the standard of living.
Right. But if she's only for 12 and then gets pushed back to 10 or less in 4 or 5 years, well, I mean, come on. That's
it's going to be way behind the pace.
Just ridiculous. But these are the tactics that she employs. Look, I don't think she's progressive. There was another issue too, where
you talking about the one where the time she blamed Bernie for the financial market crash,
right, and said that he voted for the what is it called, the
commodities future modernization
Act. Right. And he voted for it, so he's to blame for it. She wasn't in Congress at the time; she didn't have a vote, but She left something out.
Oh, she left a lot out.
Yeah.
But the main thing she left out was
who was the president
at the time?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was her husband.
William.
Oh my gosh, it was Billy Clinton. He signed it into law, but she's blaming Bernie Sanders and forgets to say anything. I mean, inadvertently, she says this was a bad policy. It was a bad move by her husband. Inadvertently, she says that without saying his name whatsoever.
Well, there's a lot that Hillary left out about that bill. And the first draft of the bill, Bernie Sanders did sign, but that bill didn't contain the same deregulatory provisions the final bill that passed had. Now, there were three or four members of Congress that were in disagreement with the amount of deregulation that bill had. So Bill Clinton put together a working group for financial markets to try to deregulate the banks even more. Well, the way they were able to pass it was they combined it with an omnibus budget bill to fund the government. So it pretty much got like soaked into that.
Right.
And so, yeah, Bernie signed it. And you could say it was a mistake on his part that, it wasn't, he didn't revise it. He didn't revise his, review of the bill, I guess, with the final passing. But it's kind of reaching to say that he is at fault for a bill that passed during her husband's presidency.
And see, and that's the problem with bills and how they're always packaged together with other stuff too, man. Because of course we all know, there's gonna be bad stuff and good stuff. The 94 crime bill, which is all the talk, nowadays, there were some good parts to it, but there were also bad parts to it, so but she's using this as an attack on him because of his vote, just like she's doing with the 94 crime bill too, because of his vote, even though she was for it and she's the one that used super predator language. He didn't. He actually said he actually spoke on the floor of the House saying what would happen because of this
before
the bill even passed. But he voted for it because of the Violence Against Women Act, because of the ban on assault weapons.
Did she express any type of misgivings about the bill at all at the time?
Not one time.
Okay.
She was all for it. And you see, look, we can all have 2020 hindsight vision, right? A lot of people wanted this bill, okay? Not just Hillary Clinton, not just Bill Clinton, not a lot of people, especially people in poor communities, they wanted this too because crime was rampant. They wanted something done. But what we have to realize and what we have to remember is that this was not the only thing that they wanted. They wanted investments in schools. They wanted investments in impoverished neighborhoods, jobs. That's what they wanted to try to lift up, these communities at the same time. But what did they get? More police, more prisons.
And Hillary Clinton always likes to say, well, there were black leaders that, were behind the bill. But you know what these same black leaders said? That they were disappointed that those provisions that were supposed to be there for like uplifting the community just kind of got laid to waste. Yep. So I'm like, these same black leaders that she puts up on the stage and says, hey, they agreed with it. They don't.
Yeah.
They were disappointed.
The New York primary is on Tuesday. Polls right now are showing that it's still like a double-digit lead for Hillary Clinton. I've seen like 10-point lead. I've seen 12-point lead. So we'll see, what really happens. I remember in Michigan, she had about a 20-point lead. Remember that, right? So this is one of those states that, it is a progressive state. It is a closed state, a closed primary state. So you're not going to have independents voting. But we'll see. I think Bernie needs the win. If not the win, he does need to come very close. He does need to come very close. If he doesn't get the win, he needs to come very close. Because, this might impact, voters in Jersey and Pennsylvania and California,
the other big states, like Maryland. Yeah,
right. So hopefully he does. He has a good showing and take down the Clinton machine. You know, we'll see.